Hi, welcome to the class. Today we will start chapter 2 of unit 2, current electricity. And the name of the chapter 2 is DC circuits. So this is chapter 2 and the name of the chapter is DC circuits, and this is the chapter 2 of unit 2, current electricity. And the very first topic and the important topic which we are going to discuss today is Kirchhoff's laws, right? So Kirchhoff has given two laws in order to solve the complicated circuits consisting of resistors and electrical cells, right? So the very first law of Kirchhoff's is known as Kirchhoff's first law or junction law or Kirchhoff's current law. So it can be named as Kirchhoff's first law, Kirchhoff's junction law or Kirchhoff's current law. Now this law states that it states that the algebraic sum of all the currents meeting at a junction, the algebraic sum of all the currents meeting at a junction is 0. So it means if we have a number of currents meeting at a junction, the algebraic sum of all these currents would be equal to 0. So now what is a junction? So junction is a point at which either the currents they meet up or the currents go away from each other. If I have to explain it, so this point O is a junction. So here some of the currents would be meeting each other. Suppose this is I1, which is 3 ampere. It would be meeting, it would be coming in, and here you have I2, which is 5 ampere. So this I1 will be meeting this I2 because they are coming in, and then there will be a current I3 which is going out, which is 2 ampere. It would be going out, so it will be going away from this junction. So this is junction because some of the currents are meeting there and some of the currents are getting away from each other. Let me take it again. This is as I4 1 ampere, and this again I will take I5, which is equal to 2 ampere. Now in this case, guys, you need to understand one thing, that the currents which are coming towards the junction, are considered to be positive ones, and the current which are going away from the junction are considered to be the negative one. So the currents coming towards the junction positive, and currents going away from the junction is considered to be the negative one. So algebraic sum of all these currents should be equal to 0. Okay, so it means I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 and then plus I5, and this algebraic sum should be 0, because according to Kirchhoff's first law, the algebraic sum of all the currents meeting at a junction should be 0. It means summation I is equals to 0. This is the expression for Kirchhoff's first law. So here we have 3 ampere going in. So if it is coming towards the junction, it is a positive current. This is going towards the junction, therefore it is a positive current. It is going away from this, therefore it is a negative current. So it will be minus 2 ampere. It is going away from this, therefore it will be minus 1 ampere. And it is going inside this, therefore it will be plus 2 ampere. Right? Okay, so this goes off, and 8 ampere minus 1 ampere. This will be 7 ampere, and it should be equal to, it should be equated. Okay, so this is 7 ampere. So the net current in this junction is 0, and according to Kirchhoff's law, the sum should be equal to 0. So what does it mean? It means after combination of all these currents, I am getting a net current of 7 ampere, and since it is positive, it means it is going towards the junction, right? So this was the first law, Kirchhoff's first law. Please pay attention that this Kirchhoff's first law is based on conservation of charge. So statement I already told you. The algebraic sum of all the currents meeting at a junction is 0. Summation I is equals to 0 and conservation of charge. Now I'll do with you the Kirchhoff's second law, and Kirchhoff's second law is known as, I'll replace this and I'll write here Kirchhoff's second law. It is also known as loop law, loop. Okay, so for applying this law we need a closed loop. Loop law and current Kirchhoff's voltage law. It deals with the voltage. Okay, this law deals with the voltage. So here, if I have this kind of setup, Kirchhoff's second law, loop law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. Remember, the expression for this law will be summation delta V is equals to 0. This will be expression. Summation delta V equals to 0. Now what is delta V? Delta V is the change in potential. What is summa? Summation means total. So total change in potential around the closed loop is equals to 0. This is Kirchhoff's second law. So algebraic sum of all the changes in potential. Algebraic sum of all the changes in potential around the closed loop is equals to 0. This is Kirchhoff's second law, loop law or Kirchhoff's voltage law. And this law is based on conservation of energy. Like the first one was based on conservation of charge, this is based on conservation of energy. So I hope you have understood the statement of these two, mathematical expression for these two, and on what principles they are based on, right? So these are the two laws. Now let's begin with some questions. So this is the question, and you can see in the diagram I have two cells of EMF E1 4 volt and EMF E2 2 volt, and these are the internal resistances of these cells, and this is the external resistances connected with the circuit. Now in this diagram we have not applied the first law. Okay, in the diagram itself the first law is already applied, and what we have to do in the first law, we have to draw the directions of the current in the first law. So directions of the current are already being drawn in the question. So we need not to do anything. In the now we have to apply the second law. Okay, so second law is the loop law. So before applying the second law, we always consider loops. So we take loops. So how do we take loop? I take in loop A, B, E, F, A. A, B, E, F, A. This is the loop I am considering, right? So I have my own methods of solving the question, and in the book, it's a different method in the book. I suggest you guys to follow this method only and practice this one only. Okay, do not go by the book's method. So in the loop A, B, E, F, A, B, E, F, A is the loop I have considered, and as you can see, there are two batteries in this loop. So you can consider any one battery, any one of these, and considering any one of these batteries, what I suggest you to do, suppose I am choosing this battery, always start moving from the positive of the battery. Always start moving from the positive of the battery. So this is the positive of the battery. I'll start moving from here. I'll start moving from here, moving from here, moving from here. My loop is B. I am coming towards Z because the loop is A, B, E. When I came here, I met the positive of the other battery. So when I met the positive of the other battery, I will write its potential, which is 2 volt, as 2. If I would have met the negative of this battery, I would have written minus 2. So plus 2. Now see, the current is in this direction, but you are coming in the direction opposite to the current. So therefore a minus sign will come. Why this minus has come? Because you are moving in an opposite direction to the direction of current. Therefore this minus has come. Minus. Then I have met R2. Which current is passing through R2? Obviously I2 is passing through R2. So I will multiply this current by this. We remember delta V is equals to 0. Summation delta V is equals to 0. Kirchhoff's second law. So I have to calculate this potential. Potential is always calculated by multiplying the current with the resistance. So this will be 2 minus 2 I2. Now I started coming here, coming here, coming here. Am I moving in the direction of the current? Answer is yes, because I1 is going like this. I am also moving in this direction now. So therefore plus will come. And this 2 will get multiplied by I1 because I1 is the current in this branch. So 2 I1. And where I have reached? I have reached the negative of the battery. If I reach the positive of the battery, I have written positive potential. If I reach the negative of the battery, I will write minus 4 is equals to 0. Why minus? Because I have reached the negative. And this I have applied. Right? Now, this is 2 I1 minus 2 I2. This you solve, minus 2 is equals to 0. Take 2 common. It will be I1 minus I2 is equals to 1. This is the first equation, guys, from this loop. This loop. Now you have two choices. Either you take the bigger loop or either you take the smaller loop. Okay. I am preferring to take this smaller loop. So in loop B, C, D, E, B. So what was the first step? Move from the positive side of the battery. Now we have only one battery. So I will start moving from the positive side of the battery. There I go. I3 is the current, which is the combination of these two currents. So this I3 is passing through R. So let me write I3 is equals to what? I1 plus I2. So this I3 is passing through 8. So it means 8 to I3. And in place of I3 what I will write? I1 plus I2. Because this I3 is the combination of these two. I1 is coming, I2 is coming. This I1 and I2 meets at this junction and they form I3. Okay. And when it comes back, I2 goes back and then I1 goes back. So this is the arrangement. So here I2 is there and here I1 is there. 8 I1 plus I2. Now it comes here. Means I was moving through the loop. I came here. I2 into R2. Will it be positive or negative? Positive. Why? Because we are moving in the direction of current. So plus 2I2. Next, where I have reached negative or positive of the battery? So what I will write? Minus 2 or plus 2? So minus 2 is equals to 0. Multiply 8I1 plus 8I2 plus 2I2 minus 2 is equals to 0. This will become 8 plus 2, 8I1 plus 10I2 minus 2 is equals to 0. 2 common, I'll take 2 common. So it will be 4I1 plus 5I2 is equals to 1. So this will be the second equation. I have got two equations and I have to solve them in order to find the value of I1 and I2, right? So solve this. So of course 1 will be multiplied by 4. So if I multiply this 1 into 4 minus 2. So 1 into 4I1 minus 4I2 is equals to 4. So I have multiplied this equation by 4. First equation. The whole equation is multiplied by 4. Now I have to subtract second from first. So I will subtract minus 4I1 plus 5I2 and is equals to 1. So I have to subtract. So I am subtracting. Subtract. This will go. Minus 5 plus 4, 9 I2 is equals to 4 minus 1, 3. So I2 will be equal to minus 3 upon 9. 3 ones are 3 threes are. So So I2 would be minus 1 upon 3 ampere. This will be the I2, right? So I2 has come. Now I have to find, I'll use this the value of I2 here in order to find I1. So I1 would be equal to minus, I2 is minus 1 by 3 is equals to 1. So I1 plus 1 by 3 is equals to 1. So I1 is equals to 1 minus 1 by 3. So it will be LCM 3, 3 minus 1. So I1 would be, I1 is equals to 2 upon 3 ampere. So this is the value of I1, that is the value of I2, and if you want to calculate I3 will calculate using this by adding these two. Have a look, and this is the question number 1. Now let me start with 2. So this is the diagram of the second question. As you can see, it has some resistances, it has batteries. Here the cells are given and internal resistances of the cells are also given. That is also important, because when you will solve this, this will also come into consideration. In this question also, luckily they have applied the first law. First law means distribution of current. So they have already done it. So you need not to do it. Okay. So we will directly apply the second law. So as you can see, this is the I1 current passing through, coming out of this. I2 is the current coming out of this cell. This is the junction where these two currents are meeting. This is the junction where these two currents are meeting, and then they are, after combining these two, I3 is going. So it means I3 is equals to I1 plus I2. Right? Now we will choose any two loops again in loop P Q S P. P Q S P. What was the first step? Move from the positive of the battery. So move from the positive of the battery. We'll start moving from here. Which current is going? I1. Are you moving in the direction of the current? Answer is yes. Multiply this I1 with this one. It will come 4I1. Because Kirchhoff's second law, summation delta V is equals to 0. V, potential, voltage law. We have to calculate the voltage. So how do I calculate the voltage? Multiply resistance by current. I1 is going, I1 is going, I1 is going. I2 is coming. They are combining. I3 is made. So I3 is passing through 10 ohm. So what will come? Plus or minus? Why plus? Because we are moving in the direction of current. So plus 10 I3. Now instead of I3, what I can write? I1 plus I2. It means I have to multiply this 10 with I1 as well as I2. So it will be 10 I1 plus 10 I2. Right? Then I am coming here, coming here, coming here. Now which current? I2. Because I3 will come up till this junction, and then I2 and I1, this I1, this is I1, and then this I1 and I2 will separate out. So here I got I1 multiplied by this one ohm. I told you internal resistance you have to consider. So this will be plus I1, and then where you are reaching, positive of the battery and negative. Negative. So it will be minus 4 is equals to 0. So 4I1, sorry, 4, 14, 15. 15I1 plus 10I2 is equals to 4, first equation. Now in the other loop, in loop QRSQ, where we will start from, we'll start from the positive of the battery. So positive of the battery we will start. Here we have started. I2 multiplied by this. Positive or negative, you think? Positive. Why? Moving in the direction of current. 3I2. Positive or negative? Positive. Why? Moving in the direction of current. I3 this. So I3 multiplied by 10 and I3 consists of these two. So 10 I1 plus 10 I2. Then going back, I2 multiplied by 2, internal resistance of the cell. So plus 2 I2. Then reaching the positive or the negative of the battery? Negative. So therefore minus 3.5 is equals to 0. I2 10, 10, 13, 15. So this is 10 I1 plus 15 I2 is equals to 3.5. This is second equation. Now we have to solve first 1 and 2 in order to find the value of I1, I2 and I3, right? So if I multiply first by 10, so it will become 150. And if I multiply this by 15, again it will become 150. So I can solve it. So 1 multiplied by 10 minus second multiplied by 15. So first equation multiplied by 10, it will be 150 I1 plus 100 I2 is equals to 40. And then 150 I1 plus 15 2 to 5 I2 is equals to 4.5, I believe. Let me check this one. It will be 52.5. Yeah, 52.5. Now we minus them, subtract, goes off, minus, minus. If I minus this, it will be minus 125 I2 is equals to, if I minus this, minus 12.5. Minus goes off and I2 would be 12.5 upon 125. 0.10 goes off 1. So 1 upon 10, I2 would be 0.1 ampere. So this will be the value of I2. Now using this I2 in any one of the equations, either 1 or 2, you can find the value of I1. So it was, I am using this first one. So it is 15 I1 plus 10 into I2. I2 is 0.1 is equals to 4. So 15 I1 plus 1, it will be 1 is equals to 4. 15 I1 is equals to 4 minus 1. 15 I1 is equals to 3. And I1 is equals to 3 upon 15. So it will be 0.2 ampere. So this is I1. If you add these two, you will get I3. So I3 will be 0.1 plus this. So I3 will be 0.3 ampere. Have a look at this. Then I will give one as a homework. I will give one as a homework. So this is your homework part. Here you can see you have three cells, E1, E2, E3. Their internal resistances are given. And as you can see, this I3 is coming like this. At this junction, from I3, I2 goes there and I1 goes there. So again, one equation I can help you out here, that this I3 is equal to I1 plus I2. So I3 is coming like this. At this junction, it's getting divided. Again, what's happening? This I1 and I2 will go like this, I1 will go like this. At this junction, again it will combine and I3 will start coming down, right? You have to find the value of I1 and I2 and I3, and these are the answers. So you have to solve it. If in case any doubts, we'll discuss in the class. And if you have any query or anything, you can ask in the class or write it in the comment section. Thank you.